What's east of the river?
Rich people. Rich people are east of the river.
Let's see. Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah,
What trouble you've gotten into with the police?
the usual. I had a shitty run as a teenager.
What's the usual?
You know, drinking, getting into fights. The ugly stuff that happens when you move out your parents' place at 13. In Forberg.
Wait, why'd you move out at such a young age?
My dad was a drunk. Plus, I guess, I just wanted to drink too, you know. Get my party on.
Drinking, partying, and disco music are bad for you. You should take me as a warning example.
She nods very cautiously.
Tell me more about the music place you've been planning in the church.
It's supposed to become, like, a club. For Nordic dance music. Like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Elysium. Except that... yeah.
She looks at the old wooden church up on the poles. As a mean wind comes bellowing in, the 6-story structure lets out a doleful shriek. What's anodic dance music?
You know, Nordic,
Oh, 10
cathodic.
XP.
Music that's made with electronic instruments.
There's a Twitch username, Anodic, that used to be here all the time. Now I'm thinking of him. Electronic instruments, like what?
Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
You see clear, beautiful, violent flashes of light. Light cutting through a smoke-filled darkness. That is what the future will look like. If it ever comes.
So you're gonna turn the church into a club?
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, you two are cops.
Yes, why do you ask?
Okay, well... maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys. Because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right?
Alright, I'll talk to him.
They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else?
Conclude?
Go ahead.
Alright, that's it for now.
Okay, bye.
She turns her attention back to the recording device. Can I boost my empathy via equipment in any way? Kind of doubt it, but... well, no, there's +1 empathy from the clipboard. Anything else here? Let's see. Okay.
Hello again.
The tape recorder lies on the ice like a discarded toy. Pick it up. 42%.
The device
Yes!
is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands.
I'm sorry you have to sit here on the ice feeling miserable. At your age, or at any age, in this weather, waiting for it to get dark.
She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup.
The people who built this world intended it to be better for you, but they failed. It is easier to live in their failure with this by your side. Tap on the tape recorder.
The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
It's not a childish fantasy. It can be a real weapon against what's coming for you now.
What is?
Nothing, if you got this. Don't be scared.
Okay, I'll stick to it.
Something changes between you two. She looks at you differently now. As an equal. A fellow human being.
So thanks, I guess,
5 XP.
for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer?
Eating me? There's nothing eating me.
Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want to.
Alright, I guess there is something that's been making my life hell.
What is it?
Oh, I wanted to tell her, like, I have amnesia. But all I can talk about is, like, political stuff. Let's see. People keep putting their selfish interests ahead of the greater good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no one understands that sometimes you gotta make sacrifices for the sake of progress. It's all very distressing. I don't like this.
So, the thing that's been eating you, is the slow pace of social progress.
No, that's probably not it, is it? No, let's just say, yeah, I'm sure. Now, I had some other questions.
Sure.
Alright, okay, bye. Alright, let's put the clipboard away, because it gave us some minus stats, too.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader, or at least he thinks he is.
Squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
He gestures for you to squeeze in. I got a lot of stuff in here. Canisters filled with what appear to be water. The label says distilled. A speaker, the big kind they use for live music. A pile of nasal sprays, brand name Nosafed Ultra.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
I bet my armored glove inspires more confidence.
This is my posse, Noid,
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
and Egghead. Egg!
The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably anodic music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
How many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
He can sell it. Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something else you wanted? Your friend Acel says there was a problem with the church.
Ah, so you've met her. Good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
Enough histrionics. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
He makes it sound like evil spirits, but he just means like druggies.
Dubheads. Burnouts.
He angrily spits on a screw and then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that. The world.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I feel like you may be laying this on a bit thick. What's really so bad about those dope heads and burnouts?
They're spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
His accent. They just want to spin tapes. No one can dance.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll take a look. I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
He claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
What's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
What about the key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
The speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden cool infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop and try to catch it. 28%. Let it fall to the ground and then pick it up like a normal adult person.
Noid watches you pick up the key with a smirk.
How long have those people been locked in there? Wait, they locked them in? I thought he was saying he locked it to keep them out.
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
You locked people in there for a week? How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
85% is not good enough when you're dealing with another person's physical well-being.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I guess it wasn't very hardcore of us to just lock them in like that.
Me too. I shouldn't have that kind of power over another person. I'm not the one with the violence monopoly here. You are. I'm glad that key is out of my hands now.
Right. Other questions?
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are the people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved?
Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Oh, I wonder if it's the cryptozoologist.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
But you haven't physically seen anyone?
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone, or something, eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
Can you tell me more about the machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
With a small surge of PEA, alertness fills you, as if to say, this is a dark corner. Look behind it.
Jacked up to some snuff station?
It means like one of those rich boy private radio stations, where you can listen to people getting killed on, then jerk off to it. Sick shit.
Not that we would know anything about that. Noid just likes to relay stuff.
He appears sincere enough, sire. You could, of course, be wrong.
We're getting derailed here. In short, you can tell to Noid about the machines. He'll tell you more.
What was that about something watching you?
Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man. Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Ambush behavior. Nod. Crabman.
Crabman!
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Sure. What?
I want to ask you about the tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
What's with all the Nosafed?
The what now?
Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The Nosafed Ultra. You have a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra.
He's like an actor looking to the souffleur for his line.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
You sound fine to me.
Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosafed is the shit.
Good, on to the next thing.
Yes. What?
I see you brought your own water.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
And it's distilled, too.
Oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
She doesn't know what to say.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
Alright, enough of this.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
You mentioned some Ecclesiastes on the church. Who are them?
Oh yeah,
Who are
that's
them?
a meteor and name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
What do you mean Meteorin?
You know, of Meteo, concerning Meteo.
Meteo?
Meteo, a country on Muindi.
How are
on
the
Muindi
voices?
Isola.
Are they still noisy? Did they tell you to do things? If you exhibit the hearing of voices, please don't consult your local medium or psychic. Please make sure to tip your local stream and let them talk to you and drown out the voices. Now ingest the Nosafed.
Thank you, Bertrie. Oh, the founding party. I do know them, but can you refresh my memory?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation.
And
they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the innocentic system, no?
It doesn't sound like they would want a dance club in their church.
You're totally wrong about that.
He shakes his head.
The Pericarnassian church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We're done.
He violently shakes the tape player as if to see if he can break it.
Love is hardcore.
Unity. Unity.
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
He turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will now break into dance.
You feel it, the anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters.
I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. Anodic music is about love, and so is the Pericarnassian, whatever you said, church.
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
The place to be!
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving.
Logic. That's it for now.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Wow, so someone's been a little
Hey, look, it's the tree of
boring.
birds. How are you today?
What?
Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown.
What is this? Picking on me for not being crazy enough? That's the least of my concerns.
No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very standard appeal.
I like standards.
Of course you do. Maybe some regulations and a usual pistol to go with them. It's official. My lord's copper type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax.
Wait, this will be my capo type now?
Yes, the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even, a nation of regular law officials that you belong to. It comes, of course, with the usual benefits.
Okay, yeah, sure, send out the telefax. I'm not ashamed.
Done and done. No actual communiques will be sent, of course. That would be too dramatic.
Okay, do I have anything that boosts reason? I hate this part. Oh wait, was it reason or logic? Maybe it was logic I was looking for. Let me look again. God, those are ugly. I'm just changing clothes right in front of him, and then I'll be like, alright, let's try this again.
Hi again. So, how
There we
things
go.
going?
We took it from 8 to 58. Alright, maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze.
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look.
Continue.
How about gather around, kids?
Got bad news for you, Andre. Things don't add up.
What things?
He senses something is wrong.
This isn't the makings of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speaker.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
That Nosafed is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
You have no headphones. Wouldn't Estelle need her headphones to spin tape?
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing.
I know you pawned them, likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients.
I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
Where's his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker. You only have one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
He sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
You tell me what's really going on, and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
We'll see. Now speak.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again. Then finally raises his hands.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revershoal.
Because we are! We totally are!
We just got to turn it into a speed lab first.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
And why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
I have to look into the spooker situation before I decide what to do with you. Decide later.
We can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings, no more lies. Before you go, Is there anything else you need?
That's it for now.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Okay, I did not expect all that in that tent, chat. That was a lot. Okay, we have got a very stupid looking outfit on. Let's change some of this out. Let's see, there's some stuff over here. More tribalistic markings. The post is covered in little humanoids. A pole screwed into the ice to keep the tent erect. Trash from some unending party. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours. Shortcut?
A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
What is this?
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
Push the eternite over.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Okay. Alright. Oh, what is that? There was one more dot over there to click on. What is this? Painted with pastels. Someone is trying to bring cheer to the world. I think they wanted me to talk to her about the crab man. Let's see if she says anything about that.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
Can't say. Gotta ask questions first.
Shoot.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan?
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Indeed, she merely tried to omit the truth instead.
Instead, you opted to omit the truth. It's the same thing.
I know, but I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them?
I'm going to decide after I look into the church situation.
Oh, right. That's wise. Take your
The
time.
others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
To the mines? Send her to the Frostpunk mines?
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
We'll see. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent.
I wonder if he was on cables or something.
He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Not ran out, just walked out.
Like a crab, you say?
The lieutenant nods, his face is stone. What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger?
The lieutenant raises an eyebrow.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
I believe you.
Why?
What would you stand to gain?
Nothing. Anyway, what else?
I want to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
Alright, maybe I'll ask later about this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but